Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and I'm thrilled to be here in Havana, Cuba for the very first time, visiting this beautiful city with several of my good friends and fellow cigar enthusiasts from London. We've come for the 23rd Festival del Habano, the most important event in the world for Cuban cigars, and of course, to explore the many examples of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition that are to be found within Cuban culture and amongst the people of this beautiful island. So join me as we travel to Havana, Cuba to explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition of this beautiful island and their incredible cigars. So here we are inside the Habanos Festival. This is without question the most important event of the entire year for Habanos, where they launch all of their new products, including, of course, the much anticipated limited editions and new cigars. I was just at the press conference with many of the officials from Habanos SA, and I have to say what they have lined up for this year is incredibly exciting. One that is particularly exciting to me, and of course would be known to all of you watching this channel, is this new Boulevard Gold Medal that they are re-releasing after more than a decade off of the market. And I'm happy to say that this cigar is being relaunched at a much larger size than its original release. The Boulevard Gold Medal Vitola dates back to the 1960s, where 50% then were wrapped in gold foil. And I must say that this new release is very exciting. It is a 48 ring gauge, 6.5 inches long. This is a proper gentleman's cigar. It comes boxed in a beautiful box of 10, and of course features that iconic gold wrapper for which the gold medals were known. As you can see from this entire presentation right here, all of these new cigars are being presented to the press and really to the world for the first time here at the Habanos Festival. And after seeing all of these incredible cigars, I must say, those who love quality, craftsmanship, and tradition of a proper Habanos Cuban cigar have a lot to look forward to. So I'm here with Jemma Freeman, chairman of Hunters Frankau, of course, our host, and the person in charge of importing all of Cuban cigars into the United Kingdom. Jemma, I mean, how is it to be back here in Havana for the Habanos Festival after 2 years' absence?
Well, it's great to be back. It's been really sad not being able to be here for the last couple of years, and we've all missed it. So this is the first day, and it is lovely to see old friends, see some good cigars, and be back in Havana. Yeah,
I mean, indeed, the Habanos Festival is an annual pilgrimage, you know, for all those really truly passionate about the quality, craftsmanship, and tradition of Cuban cigars. And so it must be nice to finally be back.
It really is, and it's been a difficult year for Cuba with the Hurricane Ivan last year, and it's been a difficult year for everybody with COVID. And yet here we are, we're getting cigars, they're making beautiful cigars, and we've got a whole collection of exciting new products to look forward to.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things this morning, and of course one of the really kind of hallmarks of the Habanos Festival is the launch of new Vitolas. And as we can see right here, we're standing in front of the entire lineup of the new cigars that are released this year. And I have to say that they look absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I think there's a really nice broad selection here of different cigars. I think this new Maestro line in Partagas is super interesting. I mean, we've had the Linea d'Oro, we've had the Montecristo 1935, and now we've got the Maestro from Partagas. Partagas is such a loved brand by aficionados, and they tend to become big collector's pieces. So that's one we haven't tried yet. The Bolivar Gold Medal looks absolutely stunning. And I'm looking forward to, over the course of this week, having the opportunity to smoke some of these, because we've never had them before.
And will we? Because, I mean, this is my first time. I was hoping this morning that we would have that opportunity, but can you confirm it is something we might be able to enjoy?
You will definitely get to enjoy them. The way the festival works is that each of the big events, so tonight, Wednesday night and Friday night, they focus on one brand. And when you go to the event tonight, you will be given a package and the cigars to taste. And the same on Wednesday and the same on Friday. So through the course of the week, you will receive very small quantities, but you will receive the opportunity to try all of these.
Now, is it true that all Cuban cigars taste better in Cuba?
Is it better or is it different? I mean, for me, the difference of being in Cuba is I can smoke twice as many cigars. I think there's something about the humidity and the climate. The cigars love being here. I mean, they clearly feel most at home in Cuba. That's my sense about them. There's something memorable about every cigar in Cuba.
Indeed. You know, as an importer of Cuban cigars, how long after the festival, is it normally until these cigars find their ways onto the shelves in the United Kingdom?
I wish I could answer that question, Kirby. When you see packaging as complicated as this, I like to think that suggests that the packaging exists, because for Cuba that's one of the big challenges, imported packaging, and then the cigars, making sure they've got the right tobacco, the right quantity, the right number of wrappers. We will hopefully see each of these released over the coming months.
Yeah, so we all have something to look forward to. I mean, some of the most beautiful cigars. One of my favorite, of course, Bolivar, one of my first loves of the Habanos portfolio.
Well, and a re-release, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, so good, as you said, you've got one. I think it'd be so interesting to try them side by side, because if it's been done well, you will be able to recognize that the blend is the same, but your original one has age, and this is a slightly younger cigar. So I think that would be a really fun thing to do.
Well, I'm happy to see how much this cigar has grown. I think it's gone from like a 38 to a 46, and grown by maybe an inch, which I have to say, with the specially selected 230s that we just released in the United Kingdom, it really is nice to see proper cigars making their way back into the market.
I agree. I mean, I think these slightly longer, more what I would call traditional ring gauges, the 46s, the 47s, the 50s, I love seeing those cigars come back. I mean, a 52, a 54, a 56, great cigars, not for me personally, but a nice, long, elegant cigar. What a thing of joy, and what an amazing achievement to roll. That is a really hard cigar to make.
Yeah. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful cigar just looking at it, right here, much like, the 230s, which I have to say, I've been lucky enough to acquire a few boxes and are amongst the most beautifully rolled cigars I've ever seen.
I couldn't agree with you more, and it really is an unusual cigar for me. That it's not as strong as a normal Ramonayonis, but it has this elegance to it that every time I smoke one, I think it's that first third that's so creamy. It lures you in and you relax, and then it starts to get a little bit more energetic as it goes through. It's a beautifully made cigar, and those wrappers are they're the most wonderful colour.
Pristine
those
wrappers.
Yeah, no,
each one flawless.
And it's funny because that was produced when we couldn't come to Cuba. So, full credit to everybody involved in the production of that cigar, because they have given us a beautiful cigar. We spent a lot of time working on that cigar in the year of the pandemic. So February 2020, we were in the factory. We worked on that cigar very closely. And I think all that work came through in the actual production. Yeah. So, thank you, Cuba, for that, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's amazing the quality of cigars that Cuba continues to put out. And I think in many ways it's best showcased in these limited edition and very collectible releases that allows Cuba to really showcase just their ability to continue to produce what are the best cigars in the world.
Yes, I agree. I mean, this is the showcase, of course, and we will see products that we might not see very many of in the market. But we just had a sandwich and I smoked a little H. Upmann half Corona. Unbelievably good little cigar. You know, it was tucked into the bottom of my cigar purse, and there it was. And that's what I love about Cuban cigars, is you have these sort of shiny, new, exciting products, and some of them will become legends in their own right, and they deserve that. But it's the little guys, the old heroes, the ones that keep trudging on, keep being made year after year, that I also think it's always worth going back to and having another look at.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how all of the, the glitter and kind of the spotlight of these limited edition releases in some ways can take one's attention away from the, the core Habanos portfolio of cigars. But for any, true cigar smoker, it's that core cigar, the standard production that they go back to time and time again, that one truly, over one's lifetime, becomes intimately knowledgeable and familiar with.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, I think of it sometimes as at the end of a day, you might have the drink you like. I like having a beer at the end of the day. That's my everyday end of the day. Hit 6 o'clock, let's have a beer. And then every now and again, it's a gin and tonic evening, or we open a nice bottle of red wine, or we're out and we're drinking cocktails. And that's how I think about these cigars. I mean, what's difficult about these cigars is when you find one that you love, you then have to work so hard to build up a little stock, because there's this terrible fear that you're going to run out. Yes. I mean, like you said about the 230, we're all trying to stockpile a few boxes, because the idea that we might finish those and never have one again is honestly quite heartbreaking sometimes.
And this is what I love about a Caba 50, and I must lobby for that to find its way back into maybe some limited edition releases. I find with the Caba 50, it's the only thing I can, smoke into, and after 4 or 5 cigars, not feel like I'm already halfway through the box.
Well, our regional edition this year, which we're releasing in November, is a Paul Larrañaga. It's called the Paul Larrañaga 47. It's a Churchill and it's a Cabinet of 50.
This is music to my ears.
So I look forward to sharing one of those with you when we have them.
That'll be splendid. Well, I mean, amongst all of these cigars, I mean, you mentioned the new Partagas series of the line. Is there anything else that just stands out to you that as someone whose family has been involved in the cigar industry for literally hundreds of years, that you look to and say, you know what, this might be something that is special?
I think that Montecristo has the ability to surprise us. I think it quite often can be a forgotten brand. Not forgotten exactly, but it's considered to be a sort of mid-level in the pyramid brand. And more than every so often, but quite frequently, Montecristo comes out with a cigar that we all go, whoa, we need to go back to Montecristo. They've done it with limited editions, they've done it with reservas. So I'm quite excited to see what the Slam's like. I think the Montecristo Open range is probably an underrated range of cigars. The cigars in the Montecristo Open range are good. They're good cigars, and we've been smoking them more and more in the office. Because once someone says to you, I had a Montecristo Open, whatever it was last week, you think, well, I've got to have one of those. Yeah. So I'm really excited about the Slam.
Yeah. Well, it's a big week ahead of us. I mean, as you said, this is the first day. This is the first event of the first day. Yes. I mean, what is it that you look forward to, and what is it that, is there any one thing more than something else that you look forward to, or is it just a week to kind of take in what happens?
It's difficult to say, because tonight we have the first big party. And we'll see all our friends from Habanos, from all over the world. So that's exciting. People that now we haven't seen for nearly 3 years. We'll all get together. And then I think, well, hold on a second. Tomorrow we're going to the plantations. Love going to the plantations. We're going on a bus. It's like a school trip. Mm-hmm. We'll see stuff. We'll learn stuff. We'll meet people we've not met before. And then you think, well, then there's Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday. For me, it's all exciting, because every single thing you do, I don't know, you come across something you didn't know before, you haven't done before. So, no, I mean, it's a little bit of a bland answer to your question, but genuinely, I like all of it. Yeah. And then I like to go home at the end.
Yes, that's right. Well, it can be an exhausting week, just given all the work that's involved. And then Friday, of course, we have the gala event and the auction. Any predictions about this year's auction that you think will be surprising?
Well, I think that September, the auction set a new high. And I would be surprised if we don't see a new high tonight. The last item in the auction is a Cohiba humidor. It's a beautiful piece. And I think that the collectors that are around, and I think the market at the moment is at such a peak that I would expect that humidor to go for a really great amount of money to go towards the Cuba Medical Fund. I think the new concept of selling some cigars at the festival is interesting. We haven't seen that since, I think, the second festival back in the late 90s. And it'll be interesting to see how people respond to that. So we'll see how that evolves. But no, the gala dinner, and also the gala dinner, the theatre of the gala dinner, cigars aside, except for Las Vegas, I never ever see a show quite like what gets put on in Cuba on that night. So that's something to look forward to.
I'm really looking forward to that as well. Well, Jemma, thank you so much. And of course, thank you for having us here. And we look forward to, of course, everything that we have in store for us this week. And thank you for all of your work, of course, and for what you do for the Cuban cigar kind of industry.
Well, we're super pleased to have you here. And, well, I really look forward to the week with you. And let's see what we can do and see and learn.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of course, one of the things that we all look forward to here at the Habanos Festival are all the people that come in. And it wouldn't be a proper festival if the legendary Nick Foulkes wasn't here also. Of course, another YouTube luminary with Foulkes and Sons. And,
yes, but not as luminary as you, not as luminous as you.
Well, you know, I'm feeling you guys hard on the chase because the work that you and Max have been putting out lately has been absolutely incredible. And I must say I've enjoyed it so much.
That's so generous of you, Kirby, because I know actually you do this properly. We're just amateurs, you know.
Well, it's a great example of how, you know, with the right talent, the cameras don't matter at all. I use the cameras to supplement what it is I otherwise lack.
This is like Oliver Stone making this. It's fantastic. And I mean, it's possibly the most sophisticated camera in the entire island of Cuba. And you have two of them.
You should have seen trying to get these in.
I bet. Now listen, it's so good to have you here, Kirby. I feel it's a new era has dawned, you know?
Well, it's such a privilege to be here with the London delegation, of course. I mean, you've been coming to the Habanos Festival for a long time, and I must say it's been 2 years since the last time really anyone's been here. I mean, what is it like to finally be back?
Well, it's very reassuring to be back, because I mean, I think I first came to the festival, I think I came to the first festival at which Fidel actually spoke at the dinner. And it was quite funny because everybody's very excited. And although he spoke very good English, he had an interpreter. And I remember one of the lines was, he said, "I have no God, so I pray to myself." And then after about 10 minutes, everybody started getting a bit restive. And then after about an hour, and he was still talking, everybody was quite subdued. No, I mean, it's wonderful to be back in Havana. It's always a joy, always a delight. Great to see the people, as you say, great to see the cigars, and just great to see feel the Cuban sunshine on my face, you know?
Yeah. I mean, of course, you've been writing about the cigar industry for almost your entire career. I mean, producing some of the most important books there are on Cuban tobacco.
That's extremely generous of you. Thank you. I'll take that.
Yeah, I have a few in my library that I must say I read, you know, just to prepare for this trip again. What is it that you look forward to most? And every single year, whenever you come, what is it that is new?
Well, people have been saying to me since I first came to Havana in 1995 that I should go before it changed. And it changes, but it stays the same. So it is a remarkable place to visit. I'm always happy to see it. And oh, look, there we go. Yeah. Perfect. That's proper, authentic Cuban thing. You know, just to see the people, just to hear what they've got to say, just to see the new cigars, just to share the enthusiasm with people. It's really brilliant, you know. And I mean, everything, even the press conference is a joy because you can sit, you can smoke cigars. And it's like being at the United Nations. You've got an earpiece, and apparently the translators were in room 3 when the press conference was taking in room 4. So we only arrived halfway through. But you know, that's the Havana way. Yeah. That's what you want, you know.
Always something interesting going on.
It really is. I mean, I tell you, if you're watching this in America and you're unable to visit this island paradise, I do commiserate with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, we've had some incredible new releases. We're smoking some incredible cigars.
Well, I haven't had an incredible cigar yet, but I'm hoping that we get those, the Behique, no, was it the Hiba Siglo 6 Gran Reserva or something that they've got knocking around, and they've got an Esplendido Gran Reserva. I mean, but I was dazzled by what I saw at the conference in terms of this new releases, the new Partagas line. I mean, it's all happening, and then there's cigars we can only buy at the festival. I mean, it's a banquet. It's a banquet, Kirby.
It really is indeed. So what is? I must ask. I mean, you know, everyone brings a few cigars with them.
Yes.
What is it that you've brought with you to Cuba to enjoy during the festival?
I just grabbed whatever I could leaving the house. There's just a fistful of Cohiba Robustos.
Yes, just a fistful of some of the world's most rare and you know, iconic cigars there are. It's what I would expect from you, Nick.
It's all I had in the day, humidor at the time.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to the week and looking forward to experiencing this incredible festival and such great company. Thank you for your time.
Kirby, it's absolutely a joy to have you here, the Texan gentleman.
That's right. I'm surprised they allowed me in.
I'm delighted they allowed you in.
Thank you, Nick. One of the things that I've been looking forward to is the opportunity to be here in Cuba with some of my best friends from London. Of course, that includes the great Tom Chamberlin of the Rake.
Hello, Kevin. How are you? Lovely to see you.
And for you as well, it is your first trip here in Cuba. So we're both first timers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, to be at the festival is a great pleasure, and you know, all the high expectations of Cuba that's been placed over the years for our great pastime with cigar smoking have been met thus far.
Yes.
And it's a great, fascinating place to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this week. What is it that you're looking forward to?
Well, I can't wait to see the agricultural side of things. So going out into the tobacco fields and seeing what's there and seeing it, you know, from scratch, really, that kind of thing really fascinates me. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. So the Habanos Festival is just as much about experiencing the entire process of creating Cuban cigars as it is, you know, these incredible new releases. And so one of the things, of course, that we do have in store is this opportunity to go to the farms.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that in Cuba, they're really keen on expressing that, not just talking about the product, but the people who are involved and telling those stories. And you and I, having you been visiting a tailor's, you don't talk about suits or shoes in your videos. You talk about the people who make them and dedicate their lives to doing this. And meeting these people out on the tobacco fields is no different.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of the things I think I'm looking forward to most on this trip is the opportunity to actually meet the people that help, you know, make this incredible product.
Yeah.
And as we've seen, you know, here with these new releases, I mean, Habanos is really capable of producing some of the best cigars in the world, not just year over year, but with these new additions that they release at the Habanos Festival as well.
Yeah, I agree. And the releases that they've announced, especially the Esplendido Gran Reserva, I mean, you know, people scour the earth to try and find just regular Esplendido. So this is going to get everybody really excited. They understand branding. They understand what people are going to be salivating over, and this is just no different.
Yeah. Well, Habanos, you know, certainly knows how to, indulge the connoisseurship of the Cuban cigar smoker. Yeah. And this event, I think, really showcases that. I mean, not just all of the fanfare with which they release these new cigars, but the entire exhibition itself with all of the accoutrement that one enjoys cigar smoking with. And then, of course, the opportunity that we have to go out into the fields and into the factories.
Yeah, and that is the best bit, you know, because we can sit in London and smoke cigars and talk about how much we love it and, you know, extol all the virtues of great cigars. And I don't think you really can have or complete the circle, as it were, unless you've been out there, unless you've seen it happen, unless you can, you know, really experience it, because then I think you can fully appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I must ask two questions. One, of the new releases, I mean, other than the Esplendido that you just mentioned, is there anything else that you're really looking forward to being able to smoke?
So I'm really looking forward to the new Partagas releases, because the Linea d'Oro from Romeo and Julieta, that was a really exciting kind of sub-brand release. So this is no different. The Maestra collection, you know, there's no really different in terms of their approach here from Habanos. So the Linea d'Oro was an absolutely sensational 3 cigars. So I'm really excited to see what these 3 have to offer.
Yeah. Anything that you brought with you here that you're looking forward to smoking as well?
Well, I did. Okay, so I brought a box of the Linea 1835 from Montecristo, which is there to be a kind of substitute in case I don't have anything on me. So I always have some cigars on me. There's the Dumas, and they've always been a spectacularly good cigar, really nice size, and so I can pull one out at any point in case I need it.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I must say I'm really looking forward to being here in Cuba with you, and more importantly, enjoying some cigars together. So, this is going to be an incredible trip, and we have so much more in store for us.
What could be better?
Yeah.
Great seeing you, Kirby.
As the festival continues, so does the fun. Tonight, I'm in front of the Havana Club for the 23rd Annual Habanos Festival Welcome Evening. This event is celebrating the Montecristo Open Series, which I have the great pleasure of enjoying right now. I've been told that we're in store for a lot of surprises this evening, some great entertainment, and some incredible Cuban food. So join me as we explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition here in Havana, Cuba at the 23rd Annual Habanos Festival. As the night unfolds at the Havana Club, the air is electric with the spirit of the festival. The welcome evening is not just a celebration, but a rich display of Cuban culture. Every moment here is a testament to the island's vibrant soul. From the laughter echoing in the corridors to the aroma of hundreds of cigars wafting in the air, the atmosphere is imbued with pure joy. Savoring the exquisite array of Cuban cuisine, each dish is a burst of traditional flavor, artfully crafted to delight the senses. And as the performers take the stage, their flair and passion encapsulate the theater of life in Havana, a city where every night is a lively canvas of color, sound, and beautiful culture. Yet amidst the revelry, my anticipation grows for a particular highlight of the evening. The true essence of this gathering is camaraderie, the shared pleasure of good company and fine cigars. Soon I meet up with Edward and Eddie Sahakian, not just as friends, but as fellow enthusiasts, united by our love for cigars, like so many others, here at the 23rd Annual Habanos Festival. Together, we'll ignite the new Montecristo Open Slam cigar, a fitting tribute to our first Cuban adventure, a moment of connection and celebration that I've been eagerly awaiting now for years.